Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai. Double honors unto the elder apostles, a great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the Sensei Akim across the world. Now, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 9, titled The Offerings of Aaron. Verse 1. And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel, and said unto Aaron, Take thee a young calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, without blemish, and offer them before Yahweh. Now the blemish means without spots or stuff like that, faults in the body. A small mark blemish, a small mark or flaw, which spoils the appearance of something. So basically a perfect little lamb, perfect to the eyes and spiritual too, and a perfect little young calf with no spots or whatever. And unto the children of Israel thou shalt speak, saying, Take thee a kid of the goats. See, a kid of the goats is a baby goat, for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb. A calf is basically like a little cow, but a baby cow. That's the same way a kid is. Both of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering. Also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings, to sacrifice before Yahweh, and a meat offering mingled with oil. For the day of Yahweh will appear unto you. And they brought that which Moses commanded before the tabernacle of the congregation. And all the congregation drew near and stood before Yahweh. And Moses said, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded that ye should do. And the glory of Yahweh shall appear for you. Shall appear unto you. And Moses said unto Aaron, Go unto the altar, and offer thy sin offering, and thy burnt offering, and make an atonement for thyself and for the people, and offer the offering for the people, of the people, and make an atonement for them, as Yahweh commanded. Now Aaron was to make a sin offering and a burnt offering, and make an atonement for himself, and also for the people. So that he can be forgiven for his sins too. Aaron therefore went unto the altar, and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. Right. So here he basically did a sin offering for himself, because he also sinned. Since he's a man, he will sin. And the sons of Aaron, the only one man that did not sin was Yahushai. Okay. Right, verse 9. Sorry. Alright. Yeah, sorry. And the sons of Aaron brought the blood unto him. And he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. But the fat, and the kidney, and the caul above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar, as Yahweh commanded Moses. And the flesh and the hide he burned with fire without the camp, meaning outside of the camp. And he slew the burnt offering. And Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled round about upon the altar. And they presented the burnt offering unto him, with the pieces thereof, and the head, and he burned them upon the altar. And he did wash the inwards and the legs, and burned them upon the burnt offering on the altar. And he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and slew it, and offered it for sin, as the first. And he brought the sin offering, and offered it according to the manner. And he brought the meat offering, and took an handful thereof, and burned it upon the altar, beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. He slew also the bullock and the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. And the fat of the bullock, and of the ram, the rump, and that which covereth the inwards, and the kidney, and the caul above the liver. And they put fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. And the breasts and the right shoulder Aaron waved for a wave offering before Yahweh, as Moses commanded. And Aaron lifted up his hand toward the people, and blessed them, and came down from offering of the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and the peace offering. And Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle of the congregation, and came out. So they went inside, and they came out, and blessed the people. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the people, because it says here that this thing, verse 6, Leviticus 9 and 6. And Moses said, "This is the thing which Yahweh commanded that ye should do." So these are the things that they were commanded to do, from verse 1 to verse 6 to verse 5. In 6 he says it. And the glory of Yahweh shall appear unto you. So all these things we needed to do, and the glory of Yahweh would appear unto us. And what is the glory of Yahweh? That's in Exodus. and 18. Sorry, I'm looking for something. Exodus 29 and 18. Yeah, check this out. Wait. Now the glory of the Lord is talking about those chariots, those things that everybody calls spaceships. Right. Let me see something. Numbers. If you watched my previous videos, you would see that I kind of actually explained it. Numbers chapter 14, verse 10. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones. And the glory of Yahweh appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. Now the glory of the Lord is talking about these chariots, which everybody calls spaceships and stuff like that. You know, spaceships, UFOs, you know, those type of names. Those are English names, but you have other type of names, like other languages. Right. So it says, and Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle of the congregation and came out and blessed the people. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the people. That's the chariots, the spaceship. And there came a fire out from before Yahweh, a laser beam, and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which when all the people saw, they shouted and fell on their face. So, right. Right, I'm back. My plan wasn't actually to go deep up in it, but hey, maybe you didn't watch the other videos where I actually kind of go deep up in it, then I'll just do this then. Now it says here, so I was looking at a book. Funny as hell. Now when it says here, Leviticus chapter 9, verse 23, and Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle of the congregation and came out and blessed the people, and the glory of Yahweh appeared unto all the people. And there came a fire out from before the Lord. Now one of the reasons why we know the glory of the Lord is talking about a spaceship is because if you go to over here, for example, Matthew 20, let me see, Exodus 29 and 19, and thou shalt burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto Yahweh. It is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. Verse 19. Sorry. Matthew 25. No, I was going into something else there. Matthew 25 and 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory. So when Yahweh shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, which is his beauty, his majesty, right? But going on. But all the congregation, wait. Let me just go to the point because I'm going into something totally different. Sorry about that. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 3. Now, let me read it again. Now, the reason why we know that the glory of the Lord, one of the reasons why we know that the glory of the Lord is talking about a spaceship, as you can see right here. I clicked in on Google. Spaceship. And then, he's shooting a beam of light. Now it says, Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 3. Yahweh came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran. Salah. His glory covered the heavens. That's talking about those spaceships. And the earth was full of his praise. Habakkuk 3 and 3. Verse 4. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand. And there was the hiding of his power. Now, when it says he had horns coming out of his hands, it's not talking about this. It's damn sure not talking about this. And it's also not talking about this, like an actual horn coming out of his hand, Or, for example, horns coming out of your hands. Or, for example, stuff like this, actual horns like this, like an animal horn coming out of his hand. No. It's talking about a ray of light, because the word horns, if you go here, Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 4, and his brightness was as the light, right? His brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand. Now, the word horns is Hebrews 71:61. Here you have it, 71:61. The word is an Quran, which means horn of strength, flax, horn like projection on the altar as a musical instrument. Rays of light, a ray of light. Now, a beam, how they call that thing, a laser beam, is a ray of light. It's a ray, and it's a ray of light. Here you have the same thing in the disco and stuff like that. This is how a laser beam actually looks like. But now you have the California beams. You have the California razor beams, which are being done on purpose. Where do you have it? Right, check here. You have actual laser beams that are starting the fires, and people have accidentally actually photo these footage. Just, you got cars all burnt up beyond their normal recognition. You have videos where people say proof laser DEW used in 911 California. Oh, Cali fires. Right. You have this. I'll put this in the link. Put this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. And then even Esau has laser beams. So how much more the Heavenly Father and his angels? Right. So when it says here, and his brightness was as the light, he had horns coming out of his hand. When it says he has horn coming out of his hand, it's talking about these laser beams that are on these UFOs, which are IFOs, identifying flying objects. Identified flying objects. UFO means unidentifying flying object. Unidentified flying object, actually. But we know them as IFOs because to us they are identified. And Esau knows them too, but he just fools the public. Right. Now a ram. Also, the reason why it is written, horns came out of his hands, because horns represent power. And that laser beam, once I'll put this link in the description box and you can check it out for yourself, you gonna start imagining the fucking power that these cave monkeys have, man. Yeah, sorry I had to say fucking. Let's just say you can imagine the sexing power that these Edomites have, man, with that laser beam thing going on, right? Now you also have in Akira, you had the laser. Tetsuo lose his arm. In Akira, you have this guy being shot with a laser beam from above, and then he loses his arm. And plus, he had that spiritual power. This is one of the reasons why you should watch this movie again, man. Akira. From this one. From Japan. Manga from the 80s. You should watch it. And this is that laser beam that they got. And all the way in the 80s, you can see this laser beam thing. And I'll put this link in the description box too. And this one you can check out for yourself, but I'm actually focusing on this one. Right. And a ram without his horns, he's basically not that tough. But you can imagine if he takes full sprint and actually crashes against your skull with this thing, you're as good as dead. Your skull will be crashed. Because this is hard bone, man. This is exoskeleton type bone. This should have hurt you if it hits your head. At full force, it will shatter your skull. It's just much like a lion. If a lion didn't have his teeth and didn't have his claws, he's still strong. He can still smack you. Probably break your neck. If he does it real hard, like, how them kittens, I wanted to say kitty cats. You know how them kitty cats be swiping? Right. Imagine that, but then with full force strength like a lion. It will hurt you. So even if he does not have his claws, he can still slap you, and it will still hurt. It could probably kill you, most likely. But yeah, what I was saying is, a lion without his teeth is less harmful than a lion with his teeth. Same thing for the ram. Now, like I said, the reason why it says a ram horns came out of his hands is because it represents power. Back in the days, we didn't have fancy words like laser beams and stuff like that, you know? So he had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power, right? That laser beam, and the way you're gonna see how much you will actually start thinking about how powerful it actually is when you look at this video. Whoo-wee. You're gonna really see the power that Esau has right now. But it's nothing compared to Yahweh Basham Yahashai, because we gonna do better than that. Luke chapter 2 verse 9. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. That the glory of the Lord is them spaceships, them chariots. Deuteronomy 9 and 10. And Yahweh delivered unto thee 2 tables of stone, written with the finger of Yahweh. Now the finger of Yahweh, because remember, here it says that the horns coming out of his hand goes into the word rays of light. So it's a laser beam coming out of his hand. But that's not his hand, that's the chariot. That's a spaceship. Right. And when it says the finger of God, it's the same thing. It's the chariot, but then it is actually doing this. Basically, that's it. It's a laser beam coming out of the spaceship. And with that is how he wrote the 10 commandments upon the tables of stone. Right. And on them was written according to all the words which Yahweh spake with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Right, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I hope I explained that good. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom, and I'm gonna put the links in the description box. Shalom in the description box. Shalom.